25 years and a month ago marked the beginning of one of the longest-running institutions on our airways, Forces Favourites. Announcer Pat Kerr has had the longest association with the programme over the years.
It began on the 2nd of July 1962, when Henry Hull was the head of our service, of the English programme. He came up with this idea of a Forces Favourites programme, but I didn't actually start it.
Oh, no, you haven't been there for a quarter of a century. I mean, you weren't even born then.
Close. First was Heather Mennell who presented, and then when that lady went off to Rhodesia, as it was then, Joan Forbes from Kenya got the programme, but I think she had a lot of difficulty with Afrikaans. Then it passed on to Shirley Sharp, whom I'm sure you remember.
Woman's World fame.
Yes. And Shirley, of course, then upped anchors and went to Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, and that's when I inherited it. So I reckon 20 years, possibly.
Yes, and you've been there, the Forces Favourite, off and on for just about the whole time.
Yes.
Very, very
close to
faithful
20
service.
anyway.
And the way in which it operates, I think everybody knows. It's a very successful programme.
I'm sure not everybody knows. No, John.
All right.
I mean, I don't think they know I'm a one-woman band to begin with. That I'm...
we know you're a one-woman band.
But I think the listener doesn't realise that I'm answering... I used to answer 3 telephones until they put in a new phone, which now has 4 lines, and I do have the other phone. I do all the work in the studio, putting on the records, putting on the microphone, reading the letters, writing down the messages, and so on. I mean, I really ought to be an octopus.
And I may say, listeners, that explains why you are to be seen on Saturday mornings, coming in very early and getting really settled into the studio and glowering at anybody who should dare to intrude into your time. And I see you scribbling away furiously on piles of postcards and, of course, taking those phone messages. That's a very important part of it, isn't it?
Yes, it is, John, because that's really the whole idea of the programme, isn't it? To be the link between the family and the boy or the girl in uniform.
You've also acquired a reputation for the use of quaint forms of Afrikaans.
I don't know. The Afrikaans listeners write in and they say they love my Afrikaans. They think it's very sweet.
I think that's an important thing to draw the Afrikaans listener in.
Yes, of course, because I mean both language groups are in all branches of the Defence Force. I don't try to be all that Afrikaans, I must admit. I don't go ware Afrikaner, because I feel if an Afrikaans soldier is listening to my rather fractured Afrikaans, he probably has a smile on his face and he's enjoying it. Whereas if I were too perfect, maybe he'd feel a bit embarrassed about his own quality of English. So I don't overdo it.
Well, doing this job over the years has also led to many interesting experiences, hasn't it?
Yes, I think I've had a lot of interesting experiences. I think I've had some sad ones, because the first time I went up to the border was about 71, and police were defending the border. Although we had an army presence, the army were not allowed to fire a shot. Every gun that went off had to be belonging to police. And I don't know if you remember, way back in 71, I think he was a sergeant with his dog, went over a landmine, and both of them were killed. Now, I went up to that police post, which was very close to foreign countries over our border, and I actually saw that truck, what was left of it.
So it brought it all home.
It brought it all home that this really was a war that was going on. Other funny experiences when I climbed up on my first buffel, which is not the most elegant thing for a woman to manage. And I didn't realize that I was going to be going on one of these things, and I hadn't packed stacks or anything. I'd gone in a knife-pleated skirt. Now, this is a very high armoured vehicle, and you go up on the hubcap of the wheel and then onto the tower and then onto the spare, and then you climb up, you see. And when I got to the top, I thought, heavens above, what a view there must have been, you see, as I swung my leg over the top of this. And I had to come down. We did our recordings, and then I think it was the lieutenant or the commandant who was there, who said, all right, Pat, now get back up on the buffel, you see, and I had to do this climb all over again. And I think he did that deliberately, because I'd no sooner got up than he said, no, we've changed our minds. We think we're going to Rattle after all. I had to make this climb all over again.
Well, you've established a style and a great reputation in the programme, and it's going from strength to strength. Will Forces Favourites continue in the same form?
I think so, John. Whether I will still be at the helm, I don't know. I think the time comes when, like Queen Liz, you have to say, do I abdicate or don't I? So I do hope whoever takes over, whether I continue for the next umpteen years or whether I say, well, that's it, someone else must do it, I do hope it goes on, because I think But the situation in the country is such that we can't be complacent anymore. The recent bomb blast in Johannesburg is a sign that things are getting a bit tougher. And I don't think there's a home in the country that is not affected by the call-up. Sons are called up from homes all over this country. And I don't think we can afford to be complacent. We have to have a program of this kind, which is a link.
Pat Kerr, popular host of the programme Forces Favourites, who was awarded the Order of the Star of South Africa for exceptional service of military importance. She was talking to John Richards.